The executive director of Jews for Judaism contacted me this week because if you guys noticed, Michael Brown used my clip regarding my opinion on whether God TV should be banned and outlawed in the state of Israel. And then his premise, again, was this old argument that everyone agrees, all modern-day denominations, I mean, he didn't say rabbis in the Talmud, agreed that Christianity is idolatry. Like, why would I ever say that it's better that if every secular Jew in Israel is not going to accept Torah Judaism, it's better that if he became a religious Christian instead? Now, again, clearly, the idea is for them all to come to Torah Judaism. Absolutely, 100%. No one's denying that. Torah Judaism, kosher Torah Judaism, is the way that we would prefer them to go. But in life, choices aren't typically between what's completely evil and what is perfect. But the best is the enemy of the better. And the choice is typically between gradations of something we may consider wrong. But anyways, as I was writing to him, I basically had to break down why people think erroneously that being an idolater is better than being what's called a kofar, partaking in what's called kafira, which is what atheism really is. But all these terms really get lumped in together, especially in the Talmud, because they're not terms that appear much in the Mishnah. So to be honest, and this is a point that even Courtney brought up to me, an idolater is a kofar. And a kofar, to a certain extent, is also an idolater from a rabbinic perspective. If Avodah Zarah is foreign worship, then an irreligious Jew, a atheistical student of Stalin and Marx, who's in some way trying to eradicate religion from the land of Israel, is also an idolater. Like, he's practicing a foreign service, especially in the land of Israel. So their argument is that Avodah Zarah is worse than Kafira, and my argument is nonsense. Kafira is worse than Avodah Zarah, but regardless, they're all substandard. But the question is, when trying to gauge a person, whether he's worthy to be in our midst, is how many commandments do they keep? That's it. That's how you gauge ethics. How many commandments do they teach and keep? And I don't think anyone would deny that a Christian, I'm not even mentioning an Orthodox Messianic Jew who believes just like an Orthodox Jew believes, but believes in JC. No, a regular Christian keeps a lot more commandments, knowingly or not, than an atheistical Jew. And for someone to fight against that is completely ridiculous. I told him that he should let God TV enter the land of Israel, make all these atheistical Jews who won't become Orthodox, let them become Christian. Jews for Judaism could move in and bring them to Orthodox Judaism. Do you think it's easier to convert an atheist to Orthodoxy or a Christian or Messianic Jew in this case to Orthodoxy?
I love you, Rabbi. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm gonna give it to someone else. Who wants to take it? Who wants to take that question?
It's really a rhetorical question. Clearly,
answer it.
You go ahead.
Who wants to answer?
This is Tim. I can answer the question.
All right.
I think it's easier to convert a Christian to Judaism for the simple fact that we already want a close relationship with God and a close relationship. And I believe with Judaism, that is the way to have the closest relationship with Him. That's just my opinion.
I like that answer. That was a good answer. But you can't get closer to Judaism. I mean, you got the direct hotline to Hashem. I mean, bowing to a tchotchke is not necessarily a close relationship.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about atheism versus Christianity or even Messianic Judaism. Would you think that someone who walks around with a Bible under their arm, which contains the 5 books of Moses and believes in sola scriptura, that this is God-breathed, that person is a better contender to come to Judaism? And I said, you work for Jews for Judaism. Your specialty is bringing Christians back to Torah. Why isn't there a movement out there to bring atheists to Torah? I mean, it doesn't exist. You know why? Because they don't waste their time. So why would they think that an atheistical Israeli has more in common with us and has more of a chance to embracing the Torah than someone who has Christian roots? I mean, it's just idiotic. It's idiotic, and it shows that these guys have a broken moral compass. They're not using their brains. They have this hatred. This is real sinat chinam. This is real baseless hatred that they hate Christians more than they love their fellow Jews. Because if they love their fellow Jews, they would see Christianity as a stepping stone to Judaism. That's clear. I would love to debate these guys. But they won't do it because they know that they can answer these questions publicly without looking bigoted and hateful. I mean, it's very simple.
I think I don't know if you're coming from an atheist perspective. Okay, let me play devil's advocate. I know you hate that. I know you hate that, Rav. Okay, so a typical atheist Jew would say, "Oh, I don't want to believe in your fairy tales, God. A fake man in the sky grants wishes, and science, rules, God's rules, whatever." Right? Like, to me, a person that thinks that way is gonna live his normal life the way it is. He's not gonna do any sort of ritual. He's not gonna do any sort of practice. And that may seem better in a way. I'm just saying from my perspective. I'm saying as me as an individual, since someone who's going to be a Christian and now they're going to the church, they're going to take they're going to eat the cracker and they're going to drink the wine and they're going to do all these Christian things now. It's almost like reverse. It's almost like you're going backwards.
So why are you excluding all the ethical portions or all the ethical aspects that Christianity brings to the table, like struggling with your sinful nature, trying to please a good God? I mean, trying to fight evil in the world. Talking about eating a cracker.
I mean, atheists will say that you don't have a sinful nature, that you're just
obviously
the will
of contribute to anything good in this world inherently.
Okay, so there's a lot of Jews that would say that you are a Jew and you do the will of Hashem, that you don't have a negative, a Yitzhak hara. You just have a Yitzhak tov. I mean, the Baal Shem Tov taught that.
And we don't believe that in this show. At least I don't believe that.
Well, I'm just saying, a secular Jew, he's there. All he does,
wait, hold on.
He doesn't have a black hat on.
So according to the bigoted statements of the Baal Shem Tov that believe that if you have Jewish blood, you're head and shoulders above every Gentile, that's your basis to making your statement, that you don't feel ashamed a little bit?
Not really, no.
All right. Next.
I mean, we talked about this before. I mean, we debated
clearly
for a cheeseburger. We talked about this.
All right.